boy Dave, saxologist on Saxophonist. Today I have a special guest, saxophonist Eugene Chapman. Eugene, how you doing, brother?
Wonderful, wonderful.
Man, you know what? I really appreciate you for taking the time to talk with me, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you could have been doing a lot of other things, but you decided to talk with me, man. And first of all,
Okay.
I want to start out by saying, man, I've been following you for quite a while, man, and I'm digging your flavor, what you put down, man. You know what I'm saying? And and I was reading your bio, man, and it says that you started playing sax at 9 years old. Is that correct?
Yes,
So let's
in
start at the
elementary.
beginning.
Yeah. I At that time I was attending a Catholic school, um, fourth grade, Holy Family Catholic school, and we didn't have a music program per se. Um, we had teachers who came to the music educators who came to the school to kind of introduce the program, and they had a set of instruments for us to kind of venture into. And I was thinking either trumpet or clarinet. I was thinking I might want to pick one of those. And for whatever reason, the saxophone just spoke to me. I think it just chose me
That's
at that
beautiful.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, I was just a regular kid. I wasn't serious at that time about the instrument. I was into so many other things. And as time went on, it just kind of, I think it just chose me.
Okay. That's a good way of putting it. So did you come from a musical family? Did anybody play instruments in your family?
What's very interesting about that is my mother played clarinet when she was in school. By the time she got to high school, she wanted to do cheerleading, so she wasn't as focused on clarinet per se. And she has a nice voice too. I don't know why she didn't study or pursue singing.
Right.
My dad, on the other hand, he could sing too, and he played organ. He's out of Detroit, and he had a band. He was in a band back in those days, where they were playing, the top 40 R&B, Jimi Hendrix, and the band broke up. He just stopped playing.
Okay.
So those are my parents, and I have his brother played clarinet. Um, I had another cousin that played saxophone in band when she was growing up. Um, then I have an uncle his name is Richard Street. He was part of the Temptations. So that's my dad's side of the family. My mother's side of the family, I had two uncles that could sing. My grandfather started a group called the Mighty Wonders out of Southern Maryland, Quasco, and their picture is in the African American History Museum in Washington, D.C. So they were part of that, but they were big Motown fanatics. Both my aunties and uncles, they were just big into Motown, and that had a big influence on us in our upbringing musically. Um, I have another cousin that studied classical voice. She attended Duke Ellington, and she was also she exposed me to Tina Marie, Rick James, so much music. And she was very, very critical about vocalists. So my grandmother was into Mahalia Jackson. My grandfather did play organ at one point, mostly gospel, but then he had a stroke. He was in the ministry, but he had a stroke, so he stopped playing. So then I have another cousin on my mom's side who was a guitarist, and he introduced me to Jimi Hendrix. So I would watch him play all the Hendrix and any of the popular bands of his time during the 80s and 90s. And I have cousins that are from Oxon Hill, PG County, and I was exposed to go-go. back when I was like 5 years old in the 80s when he would come to visit. So it was just a hotbed of music growing up.
Man, that you know what that explains that that brings me to one of the questions I was going to ask you. How did you? Because I noticed on your bio you played with Gene Carn, you played with Erica
Yeah.
Badu. So
Well, the band that I was with at the time, we opened for her. We did
you
a
opened
Tupac
for.
tribute, and
Okay,
we opened for her. Yeah.
right. What was that experience like?
Interesting.
Interesting.
We had a great show. We had a
Okay.
great show. And it was the Dead Presidents. They were on tour with her on the her worldwide underground tour of 2003. We were at that time, it was a club in Los Angeles called the Club Lingerie. And we did the tribute to Tupac, and then they went on the Dead Presidents. Incredible show. And then she was the headliner.
Yeah.
And mm, it was different. That was different because I saw her 2 years prior to that tour, the Mama's Gun tour of 2001.
Right.
And man, she was incredible. But this particular tour, she went in a whole different direction live. So that was different for me.
Yeah.
That's all I could say. That's all I'm going to say. I could
I
say some
understand.
other. I'm going to be cool.
Right. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
Mhm.
So so you grew up with old school, and
Mhm.
so did you play jazz early on too though, or did you just start out doing covers or what have you?
Well, I was in the school band, so I was studying, looking at band literature when I started. And, I would listen to commercials on television and try to play by ear. And my mother's like, you need to look at the book. You need to look at the book early on.
Right.
And by the time I got to middle school, there was a gentleman by the name of, I think his name was Gerald Miller. I knew him as Mr. Miller, Gerald Miller. And they had a saxophonist in Carroll County, and he had a jazz ensemble. So he wanted me to play in the jazz ensemble. So he wanted me to play tenor sax. So that was my first time touching a tenor sax. I was in 7th grade, and I'm playing it like an alto. I'm not really understanding the concept of the voicings
Right.
of each instrument. So
Yeah.
I'm approaching from an alto perspective. So that's what I'm in my mind. And then I would just, in that experience, I would go home and practice. But then I would try to listen to my mother's recordings, the CDs that she had at the time, and try to play by ear. And I would study privately. And as I got into high school, I mean, even before then, my band teacher, Mr. Miller, he exposed me to Count Basie. And I started checking out Duke Ellington. And then when I got into high school, I saw that movie by what is the Clint Eastwood. He produced and directed
Bird
the movie
was the bird. Yeah.
Charlie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw that movie, man, and my mouth dropped. I said, "Oh my gosh, I don't know if I'll be able to play this music, man." I mean, it was just harmonically and rhythmically, it was just on a whole nother scale.
Right.
And that, at that time, I was like, whoa, because I was also a funk kid, heavily into the music of Parliament, Funkadelic, Cameo,
Yeah.
just other stuff, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Brass construction.
I wasn't too much
You would.
into them. I
Okay.
like Slave,
Oh
Zapp,
yeah.
and Rock,
Yeah.
Rick James. I mean, those were my go-to, you
Right.
know. So I was heavily into that. But then I was also listening to, you know, Duke and Count Basie and then whoever the contemporary artists of that time. And then my mother enrolled me into these summer classes at Peabody, and it was a gentleman by the name of David Stamler, Mr. Stamler. He's I think he's currently at Penn State, and I had taken a jazz history class with him, and I was beginning to study the history of jazz from Dixieland, swing, bebop, cool, modal, jazz fusion, and listening to the players that would really help me develop
Right.
my sound and approach.
So who were some of your earlier influences? I know you said you listened to those guys, but who did it for you? You say, I want to take a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Who did that for you?
Definitely Charlie Parker,
Definitely,
without
yeah.
question. Then I went back and checked out Johnny Hodges,
Oh yeah.
with Lester Young, Sonny Stitt. I mean, to this day, I'm still trying to, to get the muscle memory and get the sound.
Right.
So I think that's a forever, for me, that will be a forever journey, because like nowhere near it, man. Of course, Herbie Hancock, Bud Powell, like Bud Powell, Cannonball Adderley,
Oh yeah, man. All right.
Coltrane, of course. That
Yeah.
Coltrane changed my life
Yeah.
when I heard the album, with Love Supreme. That album changed. Of course, Charlie Parker's Live at Storyville. That's a great album.
You're right.
People don't talk about it enough. Miles Davis. And I like all periods of Miles. I don't just like one period of Miles. I like all periods.
Okay.
Because regardless of what you think, he always had something to say. And he
Yes.
knew how to take his artistry and apply it to whatever was going on during the time. That to me says a lot. I mean, you totally have mastered your artistry if you can take whatever your voice and apply it to the times, currently, not just being in one, oh, this is this and this is that and this. No, he was just evolving, and he had younger musicians around him that helped them evolve. I mean, that guy's incredible.
You can't.
And so many people in different genres.
Yeah, yeah. And you know what? And by your background, it definitely sounds you're well versed in all of it. And that's what's
Mhm.
beautiful because today's time, as you know, you can't just because you play the saxophone, you don't have to be stuck at jazz. You don't have to play giant steps at 400 BPM, and you can go somewhere else and play floor trees.
Well, Patrick,
Say this, you know what I'm
the
saying?
new, have you heard of Patrick Bartley?
Oh yeah, yeah. Patrick's bad boy. Yeah,
Oh my God, he's an alien.
he is.
He can play all that stuff in
Yeah.
lightning speed. I'm like, oh, we say Godspeed.
Right, right,
Woo,
right, right.
I love him.
You know what, man, and you have an old soul. I can tell. You started out and you started out listening to these guys, and you stayed there, and your chops are right there. Where you want them to be at. So I'm just saying the way you approach it with all of your background and all the musics that you play. A lot of the current people, a lot of them may not have had that repertoire though. You know what I mean? The jazz background and come all the way through. That's makes you like a chameleon when it comes to playing the sax. You can play any
Well,
genre.
a lot of my mentors, teachers, when I was younger, they really stressed to me to be versatile, to play all music. They really put emphasis on that, because I would be so fascinated with what they were teaching me that I wanted to really work on it.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to really work on this. But they were like, no, you need to be versatile. You need to play all types of music, not just one style, all. Learn all music. And that stuck with me for a long time. And it's worked.
Yeah, yeah.
I get the calls. So
That's what's up.
this is not a mistake. I'm no mistake.
Now you're also an educator as well, right?
Yes.
So what instruments do you teach?
I mostly teach the woodwinds. I've taught ooh, almost private. Well, I started teaching private lessons for almost 20 years. I haven't been as active because most of my students are now in college.
Okay.
They've gone on. They've gone to bigger and better things. So it's like,
You teach adults too, or just younger people,
yeah,
or you teach
that
adults
as
too?
well.
Yeah.
I've done it as I encourage everybody to, because some people tell me they used to play or they want to get back to it. I always try to encourage them because they feel like because they're older, they maybe they missed out. No, no, no. It's always great to learn something. It doesn't matter what age you are. Always learn something.
I agree, man. I'm 65 and I just played my first time in a live audience at church about a month ago.
Mhm.
So I'm a perfect
Nice.
example of somebody started real late. But I
Mhm.
love the music, man, and that's why I do this because I enjoy talking to people like you, the ones that do it at a high level. I get a lot out of it. At the same time, it lets other people know about your virtuosity as well, though. So that's
Mhm.
why I do this, man, because I'm a sax player myself, and I just watch you guys, man, and I just look at the stuff you do. And like I was watching you that promo I did when you was with the keyboard player. That altissimo was sick. What you was doing, man. I was like, man, I was like,
Look, man, I've had big brothers. I call them my big brothers in music. Saxophonists like Skip Pruitt. He's out of Detroit, but he's
yeah, I know
in
Skip. Yeah, yeah.
the area, man. And oh my gosh, I used to listen to him. I remember when I first met him. I met him through my other big brother, Craig Alston,
Okay,
and he's out of Baltimore. Just a phenomenal saxophonist, tenor, alto. He plays all the woodwinds, piano, bass. He's a multi-instrumentalist
right.
genius. And he introduced me to Skip, man. And I heard Skip for the first time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Skip messed me up. And it's funny because I heard Skip Pruitt on a recording
Uh-huh.
before I saw him live. And I saw him live. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, he, he set a blueprint for me. And to this day, he has a blueprint for me. Okay.
Yeah,
So there's, Skip is an institution.
yeah.
Another gentleman that we revere in this area and abroad, Eddie Bacchus Jr., genius, and his altissimo. And, he's very fluent, all the saxes and just precise. So that's where I get my inspiration. I look, I'm not another gentleman, Paul Perez. He's out of California. He used to play with Tower Power in the '90s. I met him when I was in California, and his sound was incredible. And he taught me how to use a certain embouchure where I'm using like the O sound
Uh-huh.
to get that precision. And I'm using a metal mouthpiece, a Durga 5 for Tijuana mouthpieces. But at that time that I met Paul Perez, um, the mouthpiece that I purchased from him, I think it was I can't remember. I think it was an Oleo. I got to look it up.
I've seen
I
those.
should have.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah.
And they were just being first introduced on the market about 21 years ago. And that changed my life, that sound, because he had that sound. I was like, Paul, how are you getting that sound? And
Yeah. That
that
Durga
was like,
5. That Durga 5 is a beast. I have one too, man. That Theo
mhm,
wanted Durga 5. Yeah, that thing is whew. That's my
incredible.
performance, boy.
Yeah, I love those mouthpieces.
Have you been out to the NAM show?
Oh my God, it's been about 20 years since I've
Oh yeah.
been. I haven't been
Okay.
recently.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, Theo Wani and Jody. So let's talk gear then, since we talking mouthpieces. Or what do you play on all of your? What horns are you playing? What brand and mouthpieces?
I am using the Buffet 400 series. I purchased it about 19 years ago. and it was the third model that was produced. I had purchased it at there's a store called Seminetti's in Lancaster, California. I had a Yaganasawa that I had in college.
Yeah.
And one day I was helping a friend move equipment from a club that he worked at to his girlfriend's house. And I had my instrument in his car. And like 2-3 minutes later, it was gone.
What?
Yeah. So, but I was smart in having the instrument insured. I was smart about that. So I was able to take that money, and a friend of mine drove me up to Seminetti's in Lancaster from LA. And I tried at least 30 horns that day. But for whatever reason, that particular instrument spoke to me. It was made of, it had metallic.
Right.
Just a great sound, and it resonated with me. I said, okay, if I spend some time with this, then it's going to really, tweak it. It's going to do wonders for me.
Right.
And a lot of people love that horn. A lot of people love the horn. And what I used to do, because I would hang out with a friend of mine, a trumpeter named Freddie Dunn, DC. He worked with Fertile Ground and some other musicians that are notable. And we used to go out and play standards we used to do street shows, street musicians. So all that humidity and condensation would affected the lacquer of my instrument. So now it looks like it has that old vintage look,
Right.
where it's a Mark VI. It's not.
Okay.
No. So
That's your alto.
the instrument itself, it worked wonders for me.
That's your alto. You play tenor and soprano as well?
I haven't played tenor since college.
Oh, so okay.
So I'd be ashamed of myself, because a lot of my friends, they want me to play tenor.
Yeah.
So, and I'm having dreams of it now. So I gotta go a different direction.
So you just alto player right now?
Right now, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
I've been playing it so long, it's like it just became part of like my kidney and liver.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to hear some tenor for real.
Yeah.
And I'll make my tenor debut.
I know that's right, man. But you know what? You
Like,
play that alto.
we want you to play tenor, man. Play some tenor.
Play tenor.
Now.
Now, that's it.
Yeah, they want to hear some tenor.
That's it.
I got spoiled.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
You know, I noticed I was talking to Mary Meadows, and I was asking him about soprano and tenor, right? And he says, matter of fact, he said he's going to start playing tenor again. You know, he said at least for recording purposes, but you don't know if he's going to go on the road with it, but he's going to do it. So I was like, okay, yeah, yeah. But that's all right, man. So, and you use a Durga 5. What about reeds? What reeds you use?
Fiber cells. 3.5, medium hard.
Fiber cell. Is that the synthetic one too?
It's like cane in plastic, cane and
yeah. I'm trying to
combine. And I've been performing on those for 14, 15 years now. Because I started to do a lot of the R&B gigs.
Right.
So I had something to cut through, sound wise. And it supported me in even with my altissimo. That really worked for me, because I remember I would buy Laval's, and I liked Laval's reeds back then. But man, you get them like what, 10 in a box.
Yeah.
But you really couldn't. I mean, gosh, sometimes it'd be two of those reeds that were probably spot on, and I had to work the other ones
with the reed geek and everything and all that.
I could use it for the gig, because I was like, oh my God, I'm trying to hit this. It wasn't doing it for me. I was like,
Did you ever try the Legier?
Yes, kind of have a it. I liked it,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes I would buy because it was like at that time it was like 30 something dollars, and
Yeah,
it didn't. Depending on, I said I can't be buying like that back and forth. I'll just buy a bundle of them.
yeah,
And I felt at home with fiber cells. You know, I'm hoping to get an endorsement with them.
yeah. Hey, I know that's right, man. Did you ever try the Javas and all those? The red box and the green box and all that?
I used to play on Javas
Okay.
when I was in college. I would like if I was playing any classical music, I would play the regular Vendorins, and for like let's say for the big band, jazz, more of the Javas. I would lean to more of the Javas. The regular Vendorins at that time, I would get like a darker sound,
Uh-huh.
so the tonality that I was able to produce from that. And with the Javas, I was a little bit more loose for that context
Right.
in that ensemble playing. Mm-hmm.
So where you at, Eugene? Are you on the East Coast somewhere, right?
Mm-hmm. DC area.
DC area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You familiar with Doc
Mm-hmm.
Martin?
Oh
Phil,
yeah, yeah.
that's another
Yeah.
bad boy, ain't he, man? Doc Martin.
But
Doc Martin's real nice. Just like you, he said, I want to be the best alto player ever. So I don't want to play nothing else. I just play alto. I said, I ain't mad at you.
man, it's just that sound, man.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, like I said, my friends they're in kind of influencing me to go to the tenor route.
yeah, yeah. You gonna have to do it. You gonna have to do it. I mean, you still gonna do your thing on alto, but you might well just throw that other voice
I
in there
gotta,
too,
yeah,
though.
I gotta spend some time with the other woman.
Yeah.
I think
I
she's calling me.
know.
Says, come here.
Hey, Eugene, let me ask you about your film score that you did. What was that experience like?
This was about 21. I want to say about 21 years ago.
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, I apologize. 19 years ago, I
Okay.
was working with a gentleman by the name of Mike Fish Hearing. He's out of Philadelphia, but he's based in Los Angeles, and he's a guitarist, and he toured with Christina Aguilera, Drew Hill, Cisco. He did some work with a band called the Funky Ballheads that opened for Prince. I mean, he's been touring for years, but lately he's been doing a lot of film scoring. And I believe this may have been one of the first projects that he ventured into and doing in terms of film scoring. It was
Right.
a movie called Spiral, which was produced by actor Joel David Moore. I want to say it was more like a psycho thriller. And he did Mike did the score. I forgot who his partner was. I think his name was Todd, jazz organist out of Texas. They produced the score. He approached me at a gig that he was doing, and he was talking about the score itself. I said, "Oh, okay, okay." You know, we were just chatting, have a
Right.
conversation. I would say like 4 or 5 months later, he calls me. He's like, "What is your schedule? I need you to come in and do some cues for the score." And I went to his house and we worked. At the time, he was living in Woodland Hills, so I went to his studio there, and he would tell me the script or parts of scenes with the script to give me the idea of what to play. And they had one chart that I, read down for the score, and that was a great experience. Great experience, and met a lot of cool people from that. So that allowed me to kind of venture into other avenues and to see other aspects of doing things in the business
Yeah.
as well.
That's an interesting thing, man. Not a lot of people get to do that, man. Get to do scores and all that, man. So I know that's on the resume. you know?
Yeah, I have a credit as in the movie. I have my first film credit for being a guest musician for that. So that was pretty exciting, and I'm very proud of that as well.
Didn't you do some more guest appearances on TV show?
Um, I did do some extra work.
Yeah, I saw some stuff on your
I think
bio.
it was called 101.
Half and half.
So
So
it
one,
was
yeah,
on,
one of those.
it was what was the name of that? It was on the UPN network
Yeah,
back in the day.
I think it was one on one.
I was in one of the episodes with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. I
Oh,
was in the audience.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Hmm.
Yeah, you know, hey, you got your SAG card now, man. You might well go do some big things, huh?
I need to get a SAG card. You know.
So how did you get the gig with Gene Carn, man? Talk to me about that, man. That was awesome.
Um, Gentleman, a friend of mine, Charles Diaz, vocalist. He worked with her for years, and I believe he recommended me. Their saxophonist at that time, he couldn't make one of the gigs, so I was subbing for him. A gentleman, I
Okay.
think it was Steve Bundy. He's out of Philadelphia. I was being a sub for him, and that's kind of how that relationship developed with Gene Carn.
Man, I grew up on her. Now you like young to me, but I grew up on her, and man, she still sounds great too, doesn't she, man?
Yeah, man, she's very brilliant,
Wow.
very astute. She knows her craft. She
Yeah.
doesn't play about that.
Oh, is that right?
It's school. You got to study. You just
Yeah.
can't. You're not going to just uh, float your way through her or skate your way through her gig. No
Yeah.
way. You're going to study. Okay, you're going to study. Well, that's with any gig, really.
Right.
But
Right.
Miss Jean does not play. Okay, she's one of the best. She's legendary.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So what is that like, man? Playing with singers, or what is your approach to playing with singers, man, as a sax player?
It's interesting you asked that question, though. My big brother, Craig Alston, I used to sit in with him when I was at Morgan State University. Shout out to MSU. When I was at Morgan, and one night, well, we were, the gig was over, and I was hanging out with him, and he was like, "Man, you're supposed to play every other 8 bars. That's what you're supposed to do. Listen, play every other 8. When you work with a singer, play every other 8 bars." So I started to think about that, because I would just listen and I would kind of pick and choose
Right.
when to come in, because one has to understand that the way I look at songs, I look at them as scripts of a movie or chapters from a book. You got to know this. You got to know the storyline. Look at the title. Know what is the title saying? What emotions is the title evoking? What is the concept? Think about that before you play. Listen, look at the form, the lyrics, because you can kind of compliment suggestively, tastefully. If you understand the form, if you understand the story, if you understand the lyrics, the melody, I think that's the process that one should take when working with vocalists.
Okay.
Because our instrument does sing.
Yes.
So you don't want to overplay while they're trying to get a point across.
Right.
It's like you're overstepping stepping on their feet.
Right. Right.
You can get fired for that.
Yeah.
So I take that very seriously.
So let me ask you, what about, because I know you're a faith. You play in church? Didn't you used to play in
Yeah,
church? So
I
okay,
still
so
do.
you do? Okay. So now that same approach, okay, with the choir, what is your approach playing with the choir?
Same thing.
Same thing?
And what's interesting, when I started really developing my ear, one of my mentors, the late Chester Washington, Mr. Washington, affectionately that we call him, he would always tell me, just listen for, listen, find a key, the reference when I was ear training. But I would always listen to the melody, and I would try to play around. When I started, I would try to play around the melody to complement the melody and what they're doing.
Call and response, sort of, or something like that.
Yeah. But I've been doing it for so long,
Right.
since I was like 14 years old, 13, 14 years old, 14 years old. It's just kind of innate for me, but I always try to pay attention to what the melody is doing. That's imperative. The lyrics, still part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all right. So have you put out any projects?
I'm working on that right now.
You working on something now? Okay.
I have not released any solo efforts,
Uh-huh.
but there are recordings of different artists that I've been, a part of.
That's right, man. Hey, so basically, are you a full-time musician? Do you do anything else?
Full time.
Full-time?
Yes.
Hey, that's
Mm-hmm.
beautiful, man. When you can pay your bills doing it, you really full-time. You know what I mean? You don't have to do nothing else.
It's I tell you what, man, it's a grind.
I know it is, man.
Grind. Don't let anybody fool you. It is a grind, and there's nothing wrong with working and doing both.
Right.
There's really nothing wrong with that, because the cost of living nowadays is ridiculous.
How do you manage the career part and family life and everything else, though, with the demands of being this is what you have to do. You have to get your practice in. You got to do gigs. How does that affect your personal life and
Well,
everything?
for me, what I try to do is I try to get up early. For me to get up early and practice, it really helps that. When I was younger, I could stay up. I could probably learn your show the night before, stay up to like 5, 6 o'clock in the morning, writing out charts and just going over stuff repetitively
Right.
and just have it memorized. But I'm older now and I need my sleep. I can't stay up. You can ask some of my friends. I may transcribe some charts, transpose for trumpet, my trumpet friends, and they'll look at my charts and like, this note, the step, because I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be done, but I have to have a different approach now. I got to wake up early, man.
Yeah.
I got to wake up. But
What do you practice now? What kind of stuff do you practice?
I still work on scales. I try to work. There's a book that I think is the Bible. It's called Selective Studies with the etudes. I think that helps with my
Selective
technique.
studies. Okay.
Yeah, Selective Studies. I try to work on some 2-5-1 chord progressions, major and minor.
Yeah.
I try to do that. And of course, whatever the songs that I have to learn for any particular artist, I try to get that in my head. Try to get the shows in my mind to where it's like just like clockwork.
Right.
And that's the stuff where I need to practice more.
So you said you're not doing a lot of teaching right now, though, right?
Mm-mm.
You're not
No.
doing a lot of teaching, yeah. But you got time to get in and get yours, though. That's what it's all about, though, man. I know I've talked to some pros and some guys. He's like, I really don't practice now. I just play, and because I play a lot, I don't really practice. I mean, to each his own. But
Right.
but long tones, man, it just seems like you got to have those, man, to keep everything. I mean, I could be wrong, but that's what I've always
No,
heard. You got to do them
long
long tones.
tones.
Yeah.
Oh, I got a funny story about that. The first time I was taught long tones, I was about 13 years old, and gentleman Jeff, I called him Mr. Bruins, Jeffrey Bruins, and my mother brought me to him, and she told him, he doesn't have that sound. He doesn't have that crystal clear sound. I don't like his sound. So thanks to Mr. Bruins, he taught me long
Long
tones.
tones. That's right.
And my tone got better.
Right.
Thanks to him teaching me long tones. So we subscribe to long tones.
Yeah.
Children, long tones are good for you.
That's it. Long tones make strong tones, right?
Yes, they do. It will change your life. That was a life-changing experience for me.
Yeah.
So yes.
What would you tell yourself at your age right now? What would you tell your younger self about the music business? Right. You know what I mean? Right now, where you're at now, what would you tell your younger self when you were coming up? Would you do anything differently or
Yes. Yep. Um, I would have told myself to kind of develop, um, playing other instruments well, like the piano, and really focus on songwriting and learning about publishing, about copyrights, uh, a lot of the business, in terms of contracts, things of that nature. I would have definitely, in that period, because I was so concerned about playing,
right?
but I really would have developed the songwriting and knowing the more so the business, or putting emphasis on
All right.
that aspect of music, or music business per se, because there is music is music, but there is music business.
Yes. Yes.
It's real. It's not just something we say loosely. It's the music business.
So right now, do you have a business manager or do you do everything on your own?
I'm doing everything on my
You're doing
own.
everything on your own. So when you get these, so you have to talk to these
I am
promoters.
seeking management.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So so basically you have to fend for yourself. You
Oh
basically
yeah.
have to make all the calls and do all
Yep.
this and that and the other. Yeah.
hmm Send the invoices. Um, Make sure that the appointments are, straight.
Yeah.
The clients are happy, of course. Um, it's a business.
Yeah.
It is a business.
And if you don't have that part right, yeah, you can play your butt off, but if you don't
Anybody
handle
can
that
play.
business,
Everybody can play.
yeah, that's right.
Everybody can play.
Yeah, that's right.
Everybody can play.
Yeah.
But comes a point where you got to handle the business
Yeah. Yeah.
and deal with the business. You know,
That's it, man.
Not a joke.
Give me
hmm
give me a yeah, then give me a gig horror story, something that went wrong. You went there and you just like, man, we got there, the mics don't work, I forgot my strap, or my you got any kind of gig,
mm
something that just didn't go right, and you like,
Well, I'll say this: there was I won't say any names. It was a local band, and the guy that was leading the band, I just was not fond of his talent, and I mean, he was not singing the lyrics correctly. I mean, it was just like, oh God, it wasn't good to me.
yeah,
And it was to the point where I just packed my horn. I put the horn in the case, and I just left. I went out the side door. I didn't want nobody to see me. I just left. I didn't even wait around to get paid. I just left. I went home.
it was that bad.
I didn't like it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
And I told myself, I said, I will never, ever put myself in a position like that. To feel that bad to where I got to leave on the side door and not get my compensation.
yeah, yeah,
But I just didn't like the gig. I didn't like the gig. I just couldn't understand, like, you put in so much hard work into your craft. I'm not one to brag or say I'm the greatest, because I wouldn't say that. But you know that you love and respect the craft enough to have to take liberties, but then you're working with somebody that just wants to be seen.
yeah, yeah.
It's just very disrespectful. And I just couldn't, I had to leave. It was just, daunting,
Yeah.
to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I can understand, man.
Very daunting.
So how's your 2025 been musically for you, man? As we round out this year.
Oh, it's been great. I've worked with a lot of legends, man. I just recently performed at the Soul Train Cruise with the OJs
Oh,
and
wow.
Spinners,
Okay.
6-piece horn section, 2 tenors, alto, first and second trumpet and trombone. Um, the Irving Guerrilla Orchestra, they're out of Philadelphia. Henry McMillan is the musical director. He called me. I was filling in for his saxophonist, Lewis Taylor, who's been on the road with Kool and the Gang.
Okay.
I was filling in for him, and thank God uh, I can read. I can read music. He sent me the chart book, and he also sent me the book for the Spinners. I was like, oh, okay, this is hip.
Yeah.
I mean, legendary, man. And working with those guys, it's just like, wow. I mean, they've been in the game for so long, and they're
Right. Right.
still kicking it, man, and just funny.
Yeah.
All those guys have great sense of humor, fun to work with. I mean, just top notch.
Man, you as being the age that you are, a lot of these people, you you never you didn't know much about them except when you're growing up, but now you had a chance to play with them, bro. How does that,
Yeah,
you know what I
it
mean?
was hilarious, man, because growing up, you know, I listened to the music. I had taken it for granted. Like, oh, this is the older folks.
Yeah.
This is their music. Blah blah
Right.
blah 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 blah. But man, when you get some experience and you live and you listen to those songs and you start to dissect and analyze, it's not for kids.
They were
It's definitely
saying
grown
something.
folk music.
And they were
It's not
saying
for
something.
kids.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
They were
man.
saying something.
Substance.
Yeah.
I mean, the arrangements, the production, the lyrics, the
Yeah.
songwriting,
Yeah.
the vocals. I mean, you can't get any better than that, man.
They were singing songs like "When a Man Loves a Woman." They wasn't saying,
Oh,
"Shawty, Shawty, I want to you. You remind me of my Jeep." You know what I mean? It was
no,
it was
no.
totally
They
different.
were men. They
Yeah.
were real men
Right.
talking to women. They know how to
Exactly.
talk to women.
There you
And that's
go.
something that's lacking in the culture. And that's
Amen.
lacking in the music, man. We
Yeah.
need songs like that.
Yeah, I
We need
agree.
songs like that where men are talking to women respectfully.
Right.
That's it's they well, it's become a thing with my generation and younger generations where
Right.
they don't consider that cool. But
Right.
we need to make that cool again because that's how families came together.
That's right.
That's how children were born.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That's how
Yeah.
communities thrived.
That's right.
We need in the culture.
That's it, man. I tell you what, Eugene, I've become even more of a fan of you now talking to you than I was before we talked, brother. Because I mean, like I said, you're an old soul, bro. You're a younger man, but you got an old soul, and that's a beautiful thing. I was the same way growing up. A lot of my friends were older than me.
Yeah, I've been
Because
around the OGs,
yeah,
man, the
yeah,
aunties, uncles, and
right,
my grandparents, the members of the church. They helped
mhm,
raise me, man.
right.
Thank God.
I know. And look, the results, man, are really good, brother. Because hey, you got it going on, man. So
Thank
let me
you.
ask you, what are your plans? What do you plan on the next 5 years? Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Well, honestly, I see myself doing more, solo projects completed and working on a lot of music for film and television.
That's
That's where I
beautiful.
see myself going.
That's good stuff.
And mentoring young people,
Yes, I
young
read that
people
you do some
showing
of
them the
that.
ropes. Yeah, that's important.
Yeah.
You
So let
know.
me ask you about if when you decide your approach to teaching. I know you're not doing it as much now, but what is it that you wanted to convey to your students about playing this instrument? What are the things that you wanted to come across fundamental wise, or if you want to make a career, what are the kind of things you instilled in your students?
Well, for one, they got to have a good work ethic. That's important. Um, Not just being great on the instrument, but also being great human beings. That's important too, because you have to work with people. You have to deal with people. You have to form relationships. If you're going to be successful in this business, you have to form relationships. You have to maintain relationships. That's just as important as forming the relationship. And these persons having your trust that you work with, that when they call you, they know you're going to come on time. You're going to learn the music. Okay. You're going to, act accordingly on the gig. How you act on stage and how you act off. They don't have to worry about how you present yourself, how you act off stage. You have to factor in those things in order to maintain and have a successful career. If not, you don't care how great you play, they're not going to call you.
Yeah, you're right about that. And yeah, you're right. It's more to it than just having the technical ability.
Yeah,
it's the
that's
attitude.
important. It's
Yeah,
important to study your craft, but
right.
also, kind of develop people skills.
Yes.
Develop people skills. That's important. That's where a lot of your, successful artists, producers, and they may not be the greatest, but they master the art of people.
Right.
People skills.
Yeah.
So they get the calls because they know how to communicate. They know how to, deal with people. Because sometimes let's say you're producing an artist, you're not only just producing, but sometimes you're the therapist.
Right.
You may have to motivate them to do what it is that the job that needs to be done. You could be the therapist. You could be many things.
Yeah.
Same thing, even a band leader.
Right.
Band leader got many hats: the businessman, the therapist, the friend.
Yeah.
It's not just, playing and, it's more to that. So that's something that I think that should be incorporated. And what I try to show young people, your attitude is your altitude.
That's right.
It sets the tone.
Yeah, absolutely, bro. You know what I mean? I tell you, man. Hey, let me ask you this. I always like to ask all the sax players, give me your Mount Rushmore sax players. I'll give you 5. I know it's 4, but I'll give you 5, and it can be any genre.
I can have 5?
Yeah, you can have 5. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Charlie Parker, Kenny Garrett, Everett Hart.
That's a bad boy.
Oh my gosh, they don't talk about him enough.
I agree with you on him, man.
And the way, listen, I love his approach. He got that Texas thing.
Yeah.
Them Texas guys. And the way he plays, even the way he plays through those changes, the chord changes.
Yeah. Very
soulful. He's playing those changes.
Right.
But he's singing through those changes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You got 2 more.
Did I mention Kenny Garrett?
Yeah, Kenny Garrett, Charlie, and Everett.
Gerald Albright.
Number 4. Okay, yeah. Get 1 more.
That's a modern day Cannonball Adderley.
Gerald something else, boy.
Whew. Oh my gosh. Whew, man. I like to say, I like Antonio Hart too.
He's Antonio Hart. Yeah, that's a nice round. We all got. I'll tell you mine.
I got more.
I'm gonna tell you mine. John Clemmer.
And I wanna add Grover.
Oh,
of course, I want to add Grover. Grover's the guy.
I got John Clemmer. I got Grover, Sanborn, Stanley Turrentine.
Oh yeah.
And Kirk Whalen. Yeah, that's my list. Oh, did I wait? Hold on. How did I forget Sanborn? I need another one. Man, how did I forget Sanborn? Man, that's my boy.
Look, I say Sam, I'm an 80s baby.
Yeah.
So I grew up, my mother playing those records and the Lethal Weapon.
Oh,
the soundtrack.
Yes.
That sound was 80s. I mean, he was in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, but that period, it's just it puts everything in context.
Was he great or what, man? I mean,
phenomenal, man. Sometimes I can't even, it's hard. Sometimes it's hard for me to watch some of his performances,
yeah,
man, because I tear up. I get emotional, man, because I was going to go see him and found out he had passed away. That was something. But then when I watched some of those performances from back
yeah,
in the day.
yeah.
Oh man, I start tearing up.
Oh, you know, man, last year I was at the NAMM show and I met Marcus Miller. So when I
Hmm.
walked up to him, the first thing I said was, "Man, I'm so sorry about David," you know? And he was like, "Man, man, I'm still tore up about that." That's what he said, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. He said, "I'm
I
still
mean,
tore up about that." Yeah.
Dave, David, man, those two together, him and Marcus Miller, they're like, I would say they were musical soulmates.
Yes. I agree.
Even though it was crazy because Marcus met David when I think it was for the Saturday Night Live
Yes.
house band
Right.
in New York. And Marcus was 19. David is 33.
Right.
So it's like, different worlds,
Right.
different generations. But musically, they were like family.
It was
And
there.
he studied what made David tick. Because David loved Hank Crawford.
Yeah, he did.
That's somebody else they don't talk about.
I
All the
forgot
guys that
about
I
him.
like grew up listening to Hank Crawford.
Yes. Yes.
That whole thing, man. And Hank Crawford was another pioneer.
He was amazing. Yeah.
Because I mean, David loved, of course, the blues is everything.
Yeah.
That sound, and Marcus would write songs that was kind of in that vein. Like he loved David loved Ray Charles, so he would try to write songs in that feel. Anything that David, because like I said, musically they were just like this. Those two,
I'll tell you what,
and another
you know
guy.
your stuff, bro. You know your stuff, man,
I'm
because
still learning.
yeah,
I'm
you
still
know
learning.
your stuff.
Trust me, there's a whole lot that I don't know. Um, Another guy that I think is phenomenal is Louis Jordan. They don't talk about him enough.
Now that name, I've heard that name, but that one is not so
Check
familiar to
him
me.
out. Check him
Louis
out.
Jordan? Okay.
He played.
I'm gonna
No,
check
he
him out.
played. He could sing.
Louis
He could
Jordan.
act. He could dance. He was what I call a quadruple threat.
Okay.
And some people may. I mean, we could also say that he may have been one of the pioneers of rock and roll.
Yeah.
You
All
know,
right. Well, you know what, man? I tell you, Eugene, this has been a wonderful conversation, bro. I really appreciate your time. But before you
definitely.
go, can you let everybody know how to their socials or anywhere to booking booking information, what have you?
Yes, I'm on Facebook, Eugene Chapman. You'll see my logo. It's black background, gold, EC description. I am on Instagram as Eugene Chapman 3, only because my account was hacked maybe a couple of times. So I said
Okay.
Eugene Chapman 3. So it's me.
All right.
And also I have my TikTok, which is Genezilla 1. You can reach me. I'm in the process of having my website being reconstructed as well.
All right.
So
Sounds good.
everybody update. There's a lot that I'm doing right now. So it's like I can't even keep up with myself.
Well, I tell you what, man, I really appreciate your time, man. And you're a
Thank you,
wonderful
Dave.
player, brother, and you got a good head on your
I'm honored.
shoulders, man. And I wish you nothing but more continued success, brother.
Thank you so much. Thank you, David, for having me on this
Hey,
platform.
and I'm gonna send this to you, so you can put it on your YouTube or what have you, and Facebook,
Okay.
But I'm still
Okay.
gonna be keeping a lookout for you, brother, and let's stay in touch, man.
David, thank you, man.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Take care. Ladies and
All
gentlemen,
right.
Mr. Eugene Chapman. Check him out on YouTube, Facebook. This man can play, okay? When I say he can play, okay? Check him out. All right, everybody. You guys take care. Thank you so much, brother. Take
Bye.
care, man.